Well, happy Monday, Bama Nation. You are locked on to your number one spot, your number one show right here for what you want. Bama football content, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Yes, I know. Coming to you from the home location. I know. We'll be back in studio, though, on Wednesday. We'll be back in studio on Wednesday, but we want to get you guys in the comment line going crazy right now, in the chat line going crazy right now. We're taking all of your thoughts in the chat tonight. Drop those in there. I'm reading all comments. We got a big time show to get to. You know what time it is. You tap that subscribe button right now. Tap subscribe, get hooked on, get locked on to all things Bama. Hit that bell right there, hit that subscribe button. Also, leave a like on the show. Drop a thumbs up on the show. Raise those likes up. Want to get everybody liking the show, feeling the show. We got a great one here on this evening. That daily super chat goal, $100 daily super chat goal, $100 right there. We appreciate that coming from each and every last one of you. I'm telling you, people, spring football's coming. It can't get here fast enough. I'm excited for it to get here to look at all of these different positional battles and groupings and competition across the board. And what could we see from head coach Jalen DeBoer and this staff, right, to give us confidence that this can be a team, even without Nick Saban as the head coach, this can be a team that can get to a Southeastern Conference championship and win it again in the fall. This could be a team that can get back to the college football playoff stage and finish the job. So pumped about what we can see here starting off in spring ball. But first and foremost, people, we're going to get to a few of your comments here early on in the chat here right now. A lot of you guys are already commenting in. We got J-Dog67 with RTR. Roll Tide to you, J-Dog. Appreciate that. We got Smoker. We got Smokers Advocate TV. Smokers Advocate TV with an RTR. Appreciate that from Smokers Advocate there. JB with the RTR. And then JB comes back with there definitely needs to be a quarterback competition. When you talk about the quarterback room, Jalen Milroe back, Ty Simpson in here, Dylan Larnigan, even the transfer from Washington, Austin Mack. So JB won that quarterback competition. Anitra with the Roll Tide. Appreciate Anitra being in here. We got here King Joe, Austin Mack, QB1. So King Joe got Austin Mack for QB1 in here right now. We got the Fit Realtor or underscore the Fit Realtor coming in with not this year. I don't know what that one's been referring to there, but we'll get to that one. The Fit Realtor, what do you mean by you say not this year? Definitely hear your thoughts on that. Ephraim Davis writes in, it's been a minute, Stephen M. What's cracking? Ephraim, I'm good, man. I'm good. Fantastic right here. Just waiting on spring practice, right? Waiting on spring practice to get here. Waiting on to see, the quarterback conversation, the secondary. It's going to be a young secondary of a conversation at kicker. No more Will Riker, the NCAA's all-time points leader, going to the NFL. You got Connor Talty, Upton Belafonte, kind of battling for the kicker job next season. Just so much to look into. William Morris, my man, Big Bill writes in, I hear you, JB. Everybody, what's up, Steven? Big Bill from New York. I appreciate Bill being in here. It's awesome. It is awesome. J-Dog comes back with, is Charlie Strong still around the program? That's a good question, J-Dog. I'm hearing that he's not still there. I don't think Jalen DeBoer retained him. I will do some more digging on that, but I do not think Jalen DeBoer retained one at Charlie Strong. King Joe comes back in with quarterback competition. Let the best man win. That's what it's about. Let the best man win. I mentioned this before because Nick Saban announced his retirement, step into the side here. You're not having that, I guess, over loyalty to particular players. Now, once again, Jalen Milroe, he's got the leadership. He's got the intangibles, all of the intangibles to be the Alabama starting quarterback. The main thing is getting his passing game to go up another notch, getting his passing game to go up another octave, if you will. Now, last season, he did have nearly 3,000 yards passing. He did have 23 touchdown passes to only 6 picks. So he did some good things. Did a lot of good things. But in terms of the passes 10 to 15 yards into the boundary on either side, the short to intermediate game, that can be cleaned up a bit more where he's concerned. So while under Coach Saban, you tend to have that loyalty there to the incumbent starter coming back, you don't necessarily have that with Kalen DeBoer here. So it's going to be a real deal, competition in spring. Can Milroe hold off Simpson, hold off Larnagin, and show Austin Mack he's the guy, he's the man to maintain and keep the job there. Appreciate Anitra coming back with another road tie. That one was for Bill. Bill from New York there. Appreciate that. B Jammin with the RTR. B Jammin, we appreciate you. We got Jackie Sanspree in here. Jackie with the road tide roll. Appreciate Jackie. Ephraim Davis letting us all know he's checked in. Ephraim, we appreciate that coming from you there. We got Fender Dude, Bob 109. Fender Dude, Bob 109 says, is the recruiting guy from NC State a great hire? It's a decent hire. I wouldn't really call it a great hire. It's an okay hire. I mean, North Carolina State, they haven't had any top 5, top 10, or top 15 recruiting classes. I mean, I would see it as an okay hire. I wouldn't say it's a home run hire. I wouldn't call it that. But maybe this guy, Travaris, saying, maybe this guy proves me wrong. Hopefully this guy proves me wrong and it becomes a knockout hire. But just on the surface of it, just off looking at it, I wouldn't consider it as a home run. I wouldn't consider it as a knock it out the park hire. I would look at it as, it's decent. It's okay. Let's see what becomes of it, right? It's decent. It's all right, but let's see what really truly becomes of this whole ordeal. And that's what we feel about a lot of the hires that were made by Coach DeBoer. That's a good hire. That's a good hire. That's pretty good hire. It's okay hire there. But we will only know what it truly is when we see these guys on the field. When we see these coaches on the field, when we see these staffers go to work, just like when we see the players on the field and we see who's the real cream in terms of the players, it's the same thing with the coaching staff and with the staffers in general. It's in that see when this ball gets kicked off and we see how do they go about coaching, how do they go about scheming, how do they go about strategizing, how do they go about game planning, how do they go about recruiting, then we can really see, was this a strong hire or not? My man Bill from New York dropping in that $6 donation, getting the party started on a Monday right here. Appreciate my man Bill. Bill from New York with that. You are the man, Steve. And Bill, I appreciate that. Once again, people, we'll be back in studio Wednesday. I know you would love to have me in studio today. Take all these phone calls. We'll be back in studio on Wednesday. Let's see here. Sleepy. Let's see what we got here. We got this one from Sleepy Crane. Sleepy Crane, Alabama Road Tide. Appreciate that from Sleepy Crane. King Joe, 8-day game date. Want to know about that? I think it's the 20th. I believe it's the 20th. I believe that's April 20th. Now, of course, the University of Alabama has not put anything out set in stone. And when they do, we will get that information right there out to you. But I believe it's April 20th. It's normally that third Saturday in April, however the calendar may fall. Normally, it's that third Saturday in April. And if the history proves me right, and if it is the third Saturday in April, but it'll be April the 20th, that's where that falls on right there. Ephraim Davis, 100,000 strong. 8-day game, April 20th. Come out and support Crimson Tide football. So Ephraim agrees with me. He agrees at April 20th. So that's kind of my thought process. That's kind of how I feel about it. He says 100,000 strong. You need the people to pack out the stadium. Absolutely. L.A. Miles writes in, need to be both quarterback and cornerback competition. And I agree with you. You want competition all across the board. Bama's going to have a young secondary. When you talk young, only one defensive back returns with marquee experience. When you look at Alabama football, and that's Malachi Moore. That's the only one that's back with marquee experience. Now, Damani Jackson, the transfer from USC, he does have experience, but the jury is still kind of out on him. Can he be a true, legit, real deal lockdown corner? Alabama also has only one of the scholarship, young players that did not hop in the portal, that being one, Jaleel Hurley. When you talk about that 2023 class, if I'm not mistaken, that group right there, Jaleel Hurley, the only corner, I believe, from that class that did not hop in the portal and chose to remain here with the Crimson Tide. We go to Jerome Lawson, also known as my man Skillet. Jerome Lawson, I would love to see Coach KD wear a houndstooth lank shirt. Roll Tide, roll there. Houndstooth hat lank shirts. Bama Nation, drop your comment in the chat. Does Coach K and the board, does Coach KD need to come out here with a houndstooth lank shirt? Definitely want to get your thoughts on that. Appreciate Jerome there for getting that question in there. Darren Nunn writes in, secondary going to look and grow to be the best that ever attended UA. This secondary's got potential, Darren. This secondary's got potential. When you look at Peyton Woodyard, the Xavier Mincy kid, Xavier Brown, Trey Kirkpatrick Jr., there's a lot of talent in this kind. Bubba Hampton, there's a lot of talent in this defense secondary. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of marquee dudes here. It's just how quickly can each guy develop? How quickly can each guy become a big play guy and a big play weapon here on the back end? You even look at guys like Tony Mitchell. There's a lot of big play dudes here in this secondary. Going to be very interesting to see who rises to the top, who rises to the occasion. The Fit Realtor writes in, that was in regard to Mac as QB1. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting to see what Austin Mack does, what Jalen Milroe does, what the entire quarterback room does this spring, because that's going to be a position that people will have their eyes on. Don Parker with a Roll Tide, everybody. Appreciate Don Parker and the help right there from him. Don Parker also writes back in, a day at night under the LED lights at Bryant Denny Stadium, Nick Saban Field. So he wants the field named after Coach Saban there, former Alabama head coach Nick Saban. It's still weird saying that. Former Alabama head coach Nick Saban. Still feels weird just saying that. But an A-day game at night, this is something that I would love for Coach KD. I would love for Kalen DeBoer to kind of toss around the cerebellum, toss that around at coaches' meetings, team meetings, maybe gauge the fan base on that, because I know you as Alabama Nation, you guys would kind of love an A-day game, a spring game at night sort of atmosphere, but we'll see if that comes into fruition there. We got a super chat from Conte Plummer. Conte Plummer with that $10 donation from Conte right there. It's crazy that people still doubt this is not Milroe's job. He's walking around with the AD, 65% completion percentage. And look, the guy had a big season last year. Even after the loss to Texas in week 2, we saw Milroe's growth. We saw his improvement. Once again, nearly 3,000 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, only 6 picks. We're talking the SEC championship game MVP. We're talking a permanent team captain. This guy means so much here to the Alabama football program. So it's going to be fun to watch the quarterbacks in the spring. Can Milroe fend off Ty Simpson? Can he fend off Dylan Larnagin? Can he fend off Austin Mack? That is going to be that's going to be intriguing to watch. Jeremy Matthews writes in, I can't wait for the season to start. It's a tide coming. Jeremy Matthews, absolutely. Absolutely. An Alabama team that the core of that team is still in Tuscaloosa. The core of the guys are still in T-Town. I know there were so many guys that were lost to the NCAA transfer portal, but the core of this group, the building blocks of this group, the foundation of you will, of this group still in Tuscaloosa. We got here, B. Georges writes in, Roll Tide family. Steven, can we assume that the Crimson Tide can go undefeated, or am I being very delusional? I would not say undefeated right now, B. Georges. I wouldn't say undefeated right now. I wouldn't say that. I think the expectation should be, because of how tough this schedule is going to be, you got Georgia at home, you go to Wisconsin, you go to Oklahoma, you go to Tennessee, you got Auburn at home, you go to LSU. That's a tough schedule. So to me, and then plus you got South Carolina in there, you got Missouri in there, I think you got Kentucky in there, if I'm not mistaken. So to me, 10-2 or 11-1, very doable. 10-2 or 11-1, very doable. If Alabama goes undefeated with this schedule, this upcoming season, then by God, King and DeBoer really did some stuff. But right now, I will look at 10-2, 11-1. That's just me. We got Aaron McGuire with the Roll Tide rolling here. Appreciate Aaron McGuire helping us out on the show. We're going to go back up to Roll Tide and Rise Up with the Roll Tide family. Appreciate Roll Tide and Rise Up in here, showing love to everybody. Todd writes in, Roll Tide. Stephen M. Appreciate Todd helping us out here on the show. We go back to Jeremy Matthews writing in, night game, 8-day game, book it. This is something we need to get to Greg Byrne. Night game for A-Day. This is something we need to get to Greg Byrne. So if somebody can get on Twitter or X or some form of social media and do like hashtag A-Day night game, get that to Greg Byrne so he can kind of process that. That'd be a great idea. A-Day at night. Great idea. Todd writes in, spring game the 20th, and here the portal opens on the 15th. That'd be April the 15th, where the portal would open back again. Is coming in from Todd here. We go back to Bill from New York. Steven, I think there's a chance that our O-line will improve. Proctor was overweight. Nathan was a bit overweight. New center, right? I mean, Bill, you're right. You're right here. When you look at Tyler Booker's back, big Jaden Roberts, when he was inserted into the starting lineup as a guard against Texas A&M, he brought the physicality to the offensive line. Jaden Roberts is back. You have Elijah Pritchett. He's back. You bring over Nikhil Bertrand, the transfer from Texas A&M. But not to mention you have guys like Miles McVay and Olase Anine and Wilkin Formby and Rock Montgomery. You got dudes. You got dudes that can play on the offensive line. You got dudes that can play on the offensive line. So J-Dog writes in, here we go. J-Dog writes in, who are the starting offensive linemen for next season? I kind of named a couple of them right there. So the starting offensive line, I'll look at this. If I had to name it right now from left to right, give me Bertrand at left tackle. Give me Pritchett at left tackle. Booker at left guard. Center, Parker Brailsford, the transfer from Washington. Right guard, let's go Jaden Roberts. Right tackle, let's go Bertrand. That would be my starting five. So that would be Pritchett, Booker, Brailsford, Roberts, Bertrand. So that'd be my starting five right there. It could change, but that would be my starting five right there. Let's see here. Ty Alexander with that $4.99 in the super chats coming from Ty Alexander. He writes in, bruh, trying to save that gas money by not driving to the studio. LOL, just kidding, Roll Tide. Hey, Ty, nah, The gas prices aren't high right now. They're not high right now. We're just coming to you from the studio location at this time. We got MS Shaw. We got MS. We got MNS. ME and Shows 12. You forgot about Tony Mitchell. I did mention Tony Mitchell. Now, in the event that I forgot Tony Mitchell, then yes, he's in there. He's in there. He's definitely in this. He definitely is in that 2023 class that's still here. He's still here. He's still a part of the program. It's going to be fun to watch, what he does in the upcoming spring here. We got here, Anitra writes in, did anyone see Justice Haynes' footwork today? Fire! Justice Haynes is at work. He's back at work with his guy, last name Beckwith there, Marquise Beckwith. They're back at work. They're back training. They're back putting in the effort out there on the field, trying to get Haynes to have a marquee sophomore season. His freshman year was pretty good. Now, we all would have liked to have seen him play more. We all would have liked to have seen him out there more, but the freshman year was pretty good there. But we appreciate you guys. You guys keep getting your thoughts in, keep getting your ideas here on the show. We're going to actually go to right now the first topic of conversation here on this evening. First topic being Jalen Milroe has the leadership qualities, but can his passing game come up more in terms of the spring and the upcoming fall? Now, he's got the leadership qualities in the passing game, or the leadership qualities as a quarterback. Now, he was interviewed by Miss Jamie Hale, who covers Alabama, who's a sports reporter, sports anchor for ABC 3340 in Birmingham. I think Milroe had a camp at Hillcrest High School. And so Milroe talked about he signed his letter of intent to come play at the University of Alabama. It's all about building here. Building in Tuscaloosa, growing in Tuscaloosa. He mentioned of his team, we got a special group on this team, a special bond on this team. The players are all bought in. They're all here together. So it's going to be exciting to see what we do in the upcoming season. And while he's a great leader at the podium, great leader in the locker room, great leader in terms of being an ambassador for Alabama football, the main question we all have is, can he come up in the passing game, right? Because that's part of being a quarterback. That's one of the biggest things of being a quarterback is being able to successfully distribute the football on time, on target, accurately, having that anticipation, having that awareness in the pocket. That's the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things in being a quarterback. And there were times where Milroe did that pretty decently. And then there are times where we wondered, is he regressing? Is he taking a step back? He's holding on to the ball too long. Why is he doing that? He's taking unnecessary sacks. Why is he doing that? There's a guy open right here. He didn't quite hit him. There's a guy open over there. He didn't quite hit him. What is the issue? What's the problem? So that's the main thing. You as Alabama fans and all of us as consumers here of Crimson Tide football, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to know is, can his passing game improve a tick? Can it come up an octave? Can it come up here, a couple more levels? Because if it can, with Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer, then Jalen Milroe can potentially be Heisman Trophy quarterback, right? I mean, last year where we saw the ups and downs, we saw the growing pains, we saw the nicks and bruises, he still nearly threw for 3,000 yards. He still had 23 touchdown passes and 35 total touchdowns. He still had some very impressive moments, even with the growing pains, even with the ups and the downs. So if DeBoer and Grubb can fine-tune him just a little bit, we can see a young man that could potentially be a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. But can he come up some in the passing game? That's the biggest thing. And he's going to have guys that are going to push him. Ty Simpson is going to push Milroe. Dylan Larnigan, he's not playing baseball anymore. He came in with the idea of wanting to play football and baseball. He's got the baseball dream go. He's playing football now, focused on football. And then you got, an Austin Mack in here from Washington, of whom this is a guy that DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, they love, they really want, they really like. There were so many different reports out there that, the initial backup quarterback at Washington, too, Michael Penix Jr., got hurt. And if Michael Penix Jr. would have suffered any type of injury at any point last season, the backup quarterback would have been 17-year-old Austin Mack. So there have been a lot of high praise about this young man at 6'6", 230-plus pounds. You got Brock Heward, who Seattle, Washington native, Washington Husky standout quarterback during his time at Washington, played in the NFL, had 2 stints with the Seattle Seahawks, is now a commentator, analyst, a broadcaster. He was on the Next Round show. That's WJOX Jocks 94.5 FM in Birmingham. And he mentioned that Austin Mack is Cam Newton-like. This is coming from Brock Heward. He's saying Austin Mack is Cam Newton-like. He mentioned, I know you guys don't like the fact that Julian's saying at the transfer portal and Julian's talented and Jules is really good, immensely gifted player. But he's like, I'm telling you guys, I promise you guys, when you see Austin Mack, when he walks to the locker room, when he's in the huddle, when he's on the field, the guy's got immense presence, massive upside, just really, really unique player. Like I mentioned before, you don't say certain things unless you really believe those certain things. So here is Brock Heward saying all of this about Austin Mack. So it's just going to be Jalen Milroe's going to get pushed. He's going to get pushed. He's going to get challenged. But can he come up in the passing game to where he shows the new staff, I'm the guy? He shows the new offensive staff, I'm the guy. There's no looking beyond me. I'm it at the quarterback position. So that's going to be fun to watch all of that unfold. But, folks, before we go into the comment section to get your comments, to get your thoughts, to get your conversations here, we're going to go to our partners at Alumni Hall. They got some great stuff. You guys check them out. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in-store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. You heard that, people? Alumni Hall. Check out our guys right there. Do a great job. Our partners right there, Alumni Hall, Midtown Village in Tuscaloosa. We're going to get into more of your comments here in the chat line. You guys have been rolling these in. So I'm going to get to right now as many as I possibly can here. And we'll start this off with Max Tree, who writes in McVay, right tackle all day. He was the backup for J.C. Latham. I like Miles McVay. Tough, gritty, physical. I like Miles McVay. I would love for Miles McVay to take it. Ola Sanganine to take it. Either one of those guys in that 2023 class that came with Caden Proctor. I know Caden Proctor went to Iowa. But any of those guys that came in that class, whether it's McVay, whether it's Anganine, whether it's Wilkin Formby, either one of those three, take it. Either one of those three. They're all big. They're all bad. They're all mean. They're all physical. They're all athletic. They're all aggressive. And for all of them to work with one, Coach Scott Huff, who took that Washington offensive line and made it a Joe Moore Award-winning group. Any of those guys from McVay, Formby, all those guys would love to see them. Would love to see them start here at that right tackle position here. We're going to get some of your thoughts here more so in the show. Let's see. We got JB writing in. I hope we get some leaders to step up and keep it rolling. Nothing has changed but the names RTR, right? You got to get some leadership players to step up. And whether that's Jalen Milroe at quarterback, it's a Tyler Booker on the offensive line, Jaden Robinson on the offensive line, Malachi Moore in the secondary, Deontay Lawson at linebacker right there. On the defensive line, I can see a mixture of guys stepping up as leaders, whether that's Jaheim Otis, Tim Keenan, definitely. Tim Smith coming back for another year. So those will be your guys on the defensive line. Wide receiver, see guys like Kobe Prentice step up as a leader. Guys like Kendrick Law step up as a leader. We'll love to see what this Jeremy Bernard kid does, coming over from Washington, what type of leadership traits he will bring in, seeing how he knows Coach DeBoer, knows Ryan Grubb, knows Jamarcus Shepard, the wide receivers coach, who's now here at Alabama. It'll be fun to look at how many of these guys step up into a leadership role and really help push the team forward, carry the team forward on both sides of the football here. Travis B writes in, Coach Saban was golfing with Travis Scott. LOL. I'm going to say this. Coach Saban is enjoying that retirement, y'all. Coach is enjoying that thing called retirement. Now, I expect to see him back for spring practice. I expect to see him back for the A-Day game, absolutely. But when I tell you this man enjoying that retirement, Coach Saban enjoying that. I mean, whether he's out there golfing, whether he's all out there surfing on a boogie board or trying to not get knocked out by a wave, that bless his heart. But Coach Saban is enjoying that retirement. And he deserves it. He deserves it. I mean, you've been coaching at Alabama for 17 years. Yeah, you've been coaching, period, just about over 30 years. So it's about time for you to start enjoying the fruits there, that labor, and that's you being able to retire. I'm pretty sure Coach Saban was enjoying all of those things, prior to retirement, but now he gets a chance to really, truly dwell on that and kind of reflect on that. So absolutely out there golfing with Travis Scott. Yeah, he retired. Yeah, he enjoying that. Let's see here. Xavier Beach writes in, when taxes close, portal opens. LOL. That portal going to be opening, folks. That portal's going to open soon. And Alabama's going to have a chance to go in there and get some players from the portal that it likes. So it's going to be fun stuff. Don Parker writes in, the schedule for next season is going to be tough. Alabama cannot afford to wait to game 6 of the season to get it going. They will need to get ready to get on. They'll need to be ready to go on week 1 this year. Right. This is a tough schedule, people. You got to play Wisconsin. You got to play South Florida. You got to play Oklahoma. You got to play Georgia at Bryant-Denny. You got to play Tennessee. You got to go to – this is a tough schedule. So you can't afford to log a gag around and come out lethargic. You got to be on go. From the first game, you got to be on go. This Alabama team has got to have the kinks worked out. They've got to be on go. This team's got to be able to gel. It's got to be set like their hair on fire. Got to be set to take this field in the fall. Because this schedule with this 12-team playoff, it's not a gimme. Every team on the schedule is tough. Missouri's going to be tough this year. South Carolina's going to be tough. Not going to be any gimmies on this schedule. Bama's got to be ready from the get-go. Christian Hughes writes in, Roll Tide, it's still Lank for life. Let a naysayer know, and let all naysayers know. Lank for life. This team should go into the season with a huge chip on their shoulder, and they will, Christian, they will. You talk about you are 4 minutes and 41 seconds away from playing for a national championship. You're 4 minutes and 41 seconds away from beating Michigan in the Rose Bowl and playing for a national championship. It's 2008 all over again, right? 2008, you got right there. You played Florida in the SEC championship game. You got a piece of the cake, and it was snatched away from you. And that made you hungrier than a junkyard dog to get back out there again, right? But this time finish it. So Alabama got there, and it got to the SEC championship and won that. It got to the college football playoff, and it got 4 minutes and 41 seconds from competing and playing for a national. So it's got a chance to get back there and finish the job. We got Rama Jamma Yellowhammer right in here. We played Proctor this year, so he wouldn't transfer. And, well, it happens. It happens. Now, some people still feel like tampering was involved when you look at Proctor, but, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You got Elijah Pritchett. He's back. You got several guys. You got Olasangani, Miles McVay, Wilkin Formby. Take your pick. Who you want to be at that offensive tackle position. Take your pick right there among the guys that you have back here. Let's see here. Jarvis S. writes in, Justice Haynes' agility and work ethic reminds me of Najee Harris. There's some Najee Harris and Justice Haynes. There's some Bo Scarborough and Justice Haynes. You could maybe say there's a little smidget of Derrick Henry, just a smidget there of Derrick Henry. There's a mixture of Bama running backs and Justice Haynes. That kid can make a hole without a hole being there. That's how good he is. And we thought we would see more of him this past season. We did not. However, in this offense with Coach DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, we could see more of Justice Haynes in this offense. You guys continue, get your thoughts in, get your comments in on the show. Appreciate every last one of you being a part here of In My Own Words Today. Hottest show on the streets, giving you your Bama football conversation. Topic number 2 here, as we get into it right now, we look at Justice Haynes. Actually, that's the topic. Hey. Justice Haynes returns to work, and how special can he and Jalen Milroe be as the 1-2 punch? Justice Haynes getting going here for a sophomore campaign. He's back with his guy, Marquise Beckwith. They're training. They're doing footwork, agility, all type of stuff. Cutting, moving, jump cutting, all type of stuff. They're getting the footwork and things even more in line for a sophomore campaign, right? And we saw Justice last in the Rose Bowl against Michigan when he was given the ball. He was ripping the Michigan defense to shreds, people. I mean, 5 yards there, 6 yards here, 7 yards there, 10 yards there. Like, he was ripping them, gashing them. And I'm looking at Tommy Rees as if to say, why in the world did you choose to take the ball out this young man's hands? It's part of the reason why Tommy Rees is no longer with the program. He's now with the Cleveland Browns in the NFL. Look at Tommy. Like, what? Like, Tommy. Why? Why did you choose to do that when this man's eating, winning, killing Michigan's defensive front? You choose to remove the ball from Justice Haynes' hands. I will never understand that. But he and his guy, Marquise Beckwith, they're at work right now. And the good thing about this is you got a legit 1-2 punch with Haynes and Jalen Milroe. It's like in years past, 2008, you had the 1-2 punch, Glenn Coffey, Mark Ingram. 2009, 1-2 punch, Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson. 2010, 1-2 punch, Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson with a bit of Eddie Lacy sprinkled in there. 2011, 1-2 punch, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, right? 2012, 1-2 punch, Eddie Lacy, TJ Yeldon, and went on and on and on. And there was always that solid 1-2 punch there. And then as of late, Bama has gotten more of a stable, of running backs when they rotate more guys in. But Justice Haynes, Jalen Milroe, it puts you back at that traditional 1-2 bang, 1-2 punch, right? There will be Richard Young sprinkled in, absolutely. You will see some Richard Young sprinkled in, but I'm just saying that bang, bang, that abracadabra type deal there, you do have Justice Haynes, Jalen Milroe providing you with that. Now, Justice Haynes could kind of give you that Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, Bo Scarborough vibe. You can do that. Jalen Milroe could give you that Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake vibe because Jalen Milroe can catch the ball at the backfield. We saw that quite a bit a season ago. So that's a legit 1-2 punch. And it can be really special, especially if Ryan Grubb takes advantage of both of their skill sets as an offensive play caller. That's what he's got to do. You got to take advantage of Justice's power game, his one-cut style, his agility and quickness in the hole, burst out, can hit the perimeter. You got to take advantage of that. You got to take advantage of Jalen Milroe around the end, around the corner, on the edge, bouncing plays outside. You got to take advantage of Jalen Milroe's hands on those wheel routes out the backfield, in the flat. You could probably line him up as a slot receiver if you want to. Have him going in motion. Ryan Grubb has got to take advantage of things that Jam and Justice do well. Because if he does, this offense can be high potent. Remember those Steve Sarkisian offenses at Alabama that were putting up 40 and 50 points a game? Ryan Grubb, if he uses Justice and Jam the way he needs to, the way he's supposed to, this can be an offense that's putting up 40 to 50 points a game. It can do this. It can really, really do this. But it starts off with Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer, putting Justice and Jam in situations where they can be real deal successful out there for the Crimson Tide. But I like what Justice is doing, getting back to work with his guy, Coach Beckwith, Jam, knowing him. He's working with David Ballou and the strength staff, and he's getting his speed work in line and, all the things that he's working on. So it's going to be awesome seeing this running back room. Legit 1-2 punch with Justice, Jam, with Richard Young sprinkled in there. But folks, before we go to our next segment topic to get your questions here, your thoughts here in the comment area, we're going to go to another word here from our guys, the Alumni Hall, our partners. Check them out here. They're doing some great stuff. Here we go, our guys at Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. All right, folks, you know what time it is. You get there, Alumni Hall, right there at Midtown Village here in Tuscaloosa, rocking that TDA gear. Appreciate that right there from Alumni Hall and everybody that helps us out there on the show. But we're going to get to more of your comments here, more of your thoughts here in the chat line right here. Jarvis S. writes in, he looked happy when Kalen DeBoer was doing his intro press conference, that being one Jalen Milroe. Yes, Milroe did look happy. Milroe was very excited with Kalen DeBoer doing that introductory press conference there. We got D1 Royal Bama with that what up, Steve, and appreciate D1 Royal Bama helping us out there, but he's got Michigan players. And then we got here D1 Royal Alabama, RTR. We're going to be at that 1,000 plus faster and creative. Now, good thoughts there from D1 Royal Bama right there. Mark Ivy writes in. Who's going to be the place kicker? Good question there, Mark. You got two guys, right? You got Connor Talty, who came in the 2023 class as a 3-star. And then you got Upton Belafont. Both of those two will be going at it, kind of battling for it. Now, Talty was kind of taken under Will Reichert's wing. Will Reichert kind of fathered Talty a little bit. So if that indicates anything good, then Connor Talty should be the kicker. I mean, if Will Reichert took anybody under his wing, we're talking about the all-time leading scorer of points. He took anybody under his wing, then that's the guy that should be the kicker. So hopefully some of, or a lot of, all of Reichert rubbed off there on Talty. Hopefully he ends up being the other kicker there, but he and Upton Belafont will battle out for it. Christian Hughes writes in, that should be a new slogan going into this year. 4:41, 4 minutes, 41 seconds. That should be. But mine should be finished. It should be finished with 4:41 in parentheses. Finish with 4:41 in parentheses. We got here Derek Karstoffen. Derek Karstoffen writes in, can the O-line protect? It's got some guys that can. Tyler Booker can. Jaden Roberts can. Elijah Pritchard has the potential to. The transfer center from Washington, Parker Brasford, can. He only gave up 1 sack last year for the Huskies. You got guys that can, and you got talent on this roster. When you talk talent, I'm referring to Wilkin Formby, Olasang Aneem, Miles McVay, Rock Montgomery. There's talent all over this roster where the offensive line is concerned. You got talent all over this roster. The O-line is concerned. Ask Bama Girl 26 writes in, I feel like we got all we need. Hashtag Lank. I feel like we got all we need. Hashtag Lank. I feel like we do too. I think Alabama's got all it needs right now. All the players that want to be a part of the program, all the players that want to stick around, hang on, be disciplined. They're all here. They're all here, and they all want to finish when it got so close to accomplishing just a season ago. We got Todd writes in, no, there's going to be bumps in getting the team fully together. It's a whole new offense and defense that's being installed. They'll still be learning players and their strengths. Todd saying no in terms of a national championship. Todd saying no in terms of a natty. And I agree with Todd in terms of there are going to be bumps and bruises. There are going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be some time needed for everybody to gel, both offensively and defensively. There's going to be some things that need to happen, that need to gel. Also, not only things that need to gel, you also got to look at the fact that it's going to be a tough schedule, y'all. And I mentioned that. It's going to be a hard schedule. You got to play Georgia in Tuscaloosa. You got to go to Tennessee. You got to go to LSU. You got to go to Oklahoma. You got Wisconsin. This is not an easy schedule, people. This is not an easy schedule by any sense of the imagination. It's not easy. So with a tough schedule and with you trying to learn players and players trying to learn you and everybody trying to learn each other, it's not going to be an easy thing. Not going to be an easy thing. Now, for me, I think what's doable, what's acceptable, a 10-2 SEC champion that gets into the college football playoff, I think that's acceptable for King and DeBoer in year one, or an 11-1 SEC champion that gets into the college football playoff. To go undefeated is hard, tough. I'm saying if it happens, then my goodness, King and DeBoer is really that dude. If that happens, but like I'm saying, 10-2, that's doable. 11-1, that is doable. That's doable. Let's see here. We go back to D1 Royal Bama, who writes in, will be kicker Connor Talty. Redshirt freshman was the number one kicker. in his class. Unlike Talty. Like I said, came in 2023, a guy that, I mean, like I said, spent time with Will Reichert. He did. So a lot of things that Reichert taught rubbed off on Connor Talty. I kind of want to see, or I definitely want to see, what he looks like kicking field goals here. Spring practice, most important of the 8-day game. Xavier Beach writes in, Justice Haynes has Josh Jacobs' work ethic. I agree with that. He does. I agree with that. Now, I'm saying in terms of his size and athletic ability, I would put a Najee Harris in that. I would put a Bo Scarborough in that. I would put a Derrick Henry in that. But definitely in terms of work ethic, yes, Josh Jacobs, absolutely. Absolutely. You are not far off base with that, Xavier. You're not off base with that at all. Absolutely not. We got Ask Bama Girl 26. I think this squad, with the right position coaches, Bama is going to be fire. And that's the reason why Coach DeBoer went out there and he got people that know how to recruit the South and understand the South and work within the Southeastern Conference. That's why he went out there and got Coach Caden Womack, who was at Ole Miss before. He played at Arkansas as a fullback. I mean, he knows the Alabama area in terms of recruiting. He coached at South Alabama. This is why Coach DeBoer went out there to get Maurice Linguist, who was at Texas A&M as a cornerbacks coach, at Mississippi State as a safeties coach, coached in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. This is the reason why, Coach King and DeBoer went out there and got Coach Scott Hitzler. And all the moves he's made moves on. These guys understand the South. They understand sugar and grits. They understand how to speak the language of these young men and develop them. It's the very best that they can do. So I'm just really excited to see both guys here, both sides of the ball, and what they can do. Let's see here. Don Parker writes in. Question. I like the move that was made for Coach Roach. I think it was much more accommodating for his skill set. Thought? So, I like what happened there with Freddie Roach. Making him the assistant head coach, he still gets to coach the defensive line. I think a lot of that's geared toward Freddie Roach's recruiting acumen. He is one of the top recruiters in the country, especially where the state of Alabama is concerned. Freddie is a high-priced recruiter. Freddie Roach, born in Killen, Alabama, was born in Florence, Alabama, raised in Killen, grew up here, grew up in the state, played football at the University of Alabama, has been a coach 3 different times on the staff. Freddie is highly respected. People listen to what he has to say. You go back to last year, you finally start to see him develop more guys on the defensive line. Justin Eboigbe had his best year last year under Coach Freddie. Eboigbe last year, 10.5 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, increased his draft stock. Right? Increased his draft stock. You look at guys like Tim Keenan that did big things, Shaheem Otis that did big things. So many guys did big things just a season ago. Why? Freddie Roach developing these guys. Last year was his first year where he really started to truly develop players. And because of that, this is why King and DeBoer is like, okay, this dude gets it, and they flock to him. So let's make him the assistant head coach because of what he's doing, developing guys now, and what he's doing on the recruiting trail. Let's make him the assistant head coach. And let's honor Freddie Roach by doing that. So I like the move there as well. Let's see here. Russell McDaniel writes in, can you do another segment of the players' weight at the spring workouts, please? And thank you. Love your show. Another segment on the players' weight during spring. Absolutely. We'll do that. We'll do that, Hudson. We'll do that, Russell. We'll do that. Once we get, their weight, their height, and how they're looking through spring workouts, we will definitely do an updated video on that because I know you guys are very intrigued by the height and weight of these players, what they're looking like, how they're being developed in the weight room, how they're being developed in the nutrition plan. Are they looking bigger? Are they looking more physical? Are they keeping the speed on them? So we'll definitely do another video on that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Ephraim Davis writes in, waiting to see them dudes in the trenches that battle, waiting to see the offensive line and the defensive line, which for me, I mean, I'm going to say this, which for me, I don't have any concerns about the offensive line and defensive line this coming up spring and for next season. I have no concerns. I'm excited about the offensive line. I'm excited about this defensive line rotation, what Alabama's going to look to put out there in the field. Xavier Beach writing back in. Remember, we had the 4-pack, the Harris Bros, Bo, and JJ. That was a running back room with that wide receiver room of Ridley, Ruggs, Judy, Smith, Waddle. Man, that 2017 group was a group. That 2017 running back room, you had Najee, Brian Robinson, Bo Scarborough. I mean, my God, you had some dudes. You had some dudes in the running back room. You had some dudes in the wide receiver room. You had dudes, flat dudes. So Alabama getting back to that in terms of recruiting. So that's the main thing. You're getting back to basics. You're getting back to basics. That's the main thing here. Let's see, my man Big Bill writes in with, Haynes is strong, but I was under the impression that he has sprinters, but I was under the impression he has sprinter speed as well. No, Haynes has got speed. He's got speed. He's got true speed. I mean, that guy's got a burst. Haynes has got a burst. He's got speed now. I mean, he's got speed. Jalen Milroe's got speed too. That's what I'm saying. You got a 1-2 punch of Haynes and Jam. That's your 1-2. You're going to have Richard Young sprinkled in there, right? But your 1-2 is going to be Justice, Jam. That's your 1-2. And Richard Young sprinkles in, and Kevin Riley, Daniel Hill, those two. Wait a minute. Get your time in. Wait a minute. Get your time in. Let's see here. We go back to Sam. Stephen M. Smith. Has anyone been designated as the special teams coordinator? Sam, that's the one position group we're waiting on, man. That is the one positional group we are waiting on. That's it. Special teams coordinator is the one group we are waiting on. I'm trying as hard as I can to get some information on that. When I get some information on that, I will get that to you. But that's the one positional unit we're all waiting on here. Last question here before we get to our final thought of the conversation. Who will take over for Downs? That's genitalia. Who will take over for Downs, Caleb Downs at safety? Tony Mitchell. Bang. That's who takes over. Tony Mitchell, who came in the same class with Downs, 2023, a 5-star, just like Downs, Tony Mitchell. He got into some trouble back in the spring. He learned from it. He matured from it. He grew from it. Very thankful and grateful to have the opportunity to still be a part of this football team. Tony Mitchell. That's the guy that will take over in replacement of Caleb Downs at that safety position. You heard it right here first. Tony Mitchell. Keep that name locked in your mind. Tony Mitchell. But we're getting right on the final topic of conversation, people. Appreciate all you guys helping us out here on the show, giving us your thoughts here in the chat line. Once again, Wednesday, we'll be back in the studio. But final topic of conversation, and this is which position, aside from quarterback, has you the most concern for spring practice? Which position, aside from quarterback, has you the most concern for spring practice? To me, I've got three. I got quarterback. I want to see the competition. Yes, Jalen Milroe is back as the incumbent starter, but I want to see, can he take even more of a growth there in the passing game? Can he fend off the competitors behind him, or does someone else rise and take it? Like, kind of want to look at the quarterbacks. That's kind of where my eyeballs will be at. Kind of intrigued by that. I look at the secondary. The secondary has me concerned because of just the pure youth that's there. A lot of young guys. Remember, you lost Caleb Downs to the portal. You lost Dez Riggs. You lost Antonio Kite. You lost Trey Amos. You lost Jake Pope. I mean, you lost several guys in the secondary to the portal. And then not to mention Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold. They're going to the NFL draft. Jalen Key's going to the NFL draft. There are a lot of guys lost. Earl Little went to the portal. A lot of guys lost here. So the secondary is a concern because it's going to be so young. You have a lot of young dudes. I mean, the guy with the most experience in terms of Alabama football is Malachi Moore. That's it. That's it. So you're depending on a lot of young names to come in here, make some noise. They're going to have to deal with growing pains. They're going to take the bumps. They're going to take their lumps. It's going to be, some tough moments. But you're going to have the patience to deal with that. You're going to have, a lot of that bear with me type of ordeal there for a lot of these guys. It's going to be tough on them. It's going to be real tough on them. So secondary is a concern. And then last but not least, kickers are concern. Kickers are concern. When you've had Will Reichert for 5 years, and he was automatic for 5 years, and he graced us with his presence for 5 years. And Will Reichert was perfect in 2020, didn't miss a kick. This past season, Reichert, 22 for 25, 88% for you mathematicians out there, made all 55 extra points. Will Reichert was just special. We're talking the all-time leader in NCAA history for points totaled. And losing him to the NFL, that one hurts because of the fact that Reichert had us to a point to where you didn't have to do kind of rituals to make field goals, right? You didn't have to say certain things when the kicker got up to kick, right? You didn't have to close your eyes when the kicker came up, right? You didn't have to do just a whole bunch of stuff for a ball to go through a goalpost. When Reichert took the field, you knew that kick's going through. He gave us that sort of confidence and confirmation. When number 16, Will Reichert, took that field, you knew this ball is going to go through the goalpost, hook, line, sinker, no doubt about it. We knew this. With Will Reichert gone, now you have to learn a whole different kicker, right? Now you have to see, can this guy be trusted in the same way Will was? Now, yes, Will had his moments where he may miss a kick here and there, but way more often than not, he was making more than he was missing. Way more often than not. So it's a situation where I like Connor Talty, I do. I think the young man has a lot of upside. I think he's got a ton of potential. It's just, can he provide the amount of consistency? Can he provide the amount of dependability? Can he provide that reliability that we got from Reichert for 5 years? So that's my main thing. Those are the positions here, people, that give me the most concern. Quarterback, from a sense of, can Milroe hold firm to that position, or will someone take it from him? Secondary, because Bama's so young on the defensive back end. And then, of course, kicker, with Reichert gone, can Connor Talty make this thing do what it does? But as always, Bama Nation, I appreciate every last one of you rocking with me tonight on the show. Hottest show on the streets. We're talking nonstop Bama. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Folks, we will return to the studio on Wednesday, taking all your calls, taking all your thoughts, taking all of your ideas right here on the show. As always, people, you want the best news, notes, information, coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can access this by getting the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you got the Android phone for your audio needs, we got you. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. We appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you, the Bama Nation, the love, the donations, the comments, the conversation. Always keep it going. Keep it flowing right here on your number one show for Bama football. As always, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands, children. You guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there and getting that schoolwork done as well. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great labs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. I'll be back in studio on Wednesday. Till next time, it's been in my own words. So long, everybody.